You know, it's funny how events early in your life can stay with you for a lifetime. Well, Rodney and I talk about that today in this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School.
See, the thing of it is too, it's a systemic thing. The simple reason I say that is that athletics, because we had such limited perspective on things, we were, you know, basically looking to make it to the next level because that's the only place that we would get a fair shake
Mm-hmm.
is in sports. But getting a fair shake in sports and maybe just getting a free ride to college, that opened up the doors to so many other things. And that's what they wanted to keep closed down. You know, they didn't want you to have that access. A lot of the guys that came through and played ball, okay, playing ball really opens the door and gives you a good outlook on life, the way life is, winning, losing, teamwork, this and that and this and that. It makes you an all-around great person. And that's why they wanted to stop it at that level. Because also I know if you just weren't outstanding and good, you were on the bench, which automatically started that animosity towards not getting a fair shake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but sports in its basic form would make you a well-rounded player and prepares you for what's out here in the world. And that was even used to make sure you didn't get what you could get out of it. You know, so I don't know how many frustrated athletes walking around there because sometimes they didn't have the wherewithal to think about it, but, you know, or to get out of there. I mean, for the most part, you either, if you didn't get a free ride, you went in the military. Then you start seeing some other things like, oh, some other things came in perspective. But I know my coach my senior year, like I say, I think I told you the story before. He said, no, Rodney, we need to make this move for public relations.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, as a kid and a pure thinker of playing ball, you ain't thinking about that. You thinking about the best man supposed to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, we gotta do this for public relations because they ain't gonna come out to see us if we got 5 of y'all out there. You need to put this one out there. Hell, it was so obvious. Everybody in the damn gym know his ass shouldn't have been out there. But it's amazing, man.
Yeah. Especially at that age and point in life, you would think that kind of stuff wouldn't matter. All that should matter is winning. That's all
right.
that should matter. But even at that point in life, winning ain't everything.
Winning ain't everything.
Winning ain't everything.
Yeah. And those were some life lessons early. See how things work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I still respect him for being man enough to tell me that. But, you know, as a naive kid, I was just thought, hey, nothing about it, nothing political anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though you would have been thinking, why is Johnny playing when we know
Yeah.
whoever is twice as good?
Yeah.
That would probably always go through your mind.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have thought about the political part of it. Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't at that age.
Yeah. That's it, Coach. That's just like anything else. The players know who can play and who can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know who can play and who can't. So
Yeah. Because you there every day in practice. You know
what you go through. I mean, the people sitting in the stands that see just the game, they don't know all the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, the players know. The players know. And a lot of other people know too. I mean, when you grow up with these people, you go to school with them, you know what it's about too,
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
like I say, you just don't think about so much the politics of it. You just think about you feel they're supposed to put the best team out on the court to have a chance to win. Why ain't they doing that?
Hey, man. Like I say, it prepares you for life because there's still a lot of dudes that hadn't really done anything that still are that naive, even though they're old.
Mm-hmm.
God forgive me. I don't mean to be negative towards the dead, but we had a couple of coaches that passed away this year. I'm in a group of brothers from back there at the old high school, and they invited me into the group, and of course we talk about things and reminisce about the old days and whatever. Anyway, a couple of coaches died, and one particular coach, he was well, I'll just say he wasn't one of my favorites. And a couple of brothers that was in there, oh man, Coach Thornton died, la da 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 da. And I did what they always say. I didn't have nothing good to say, so I didn't say nothing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but I was just kind of listening to the reverence that they seem to still have from that dude when you're a naive 18-year-old kid and that's your coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, they still caught up in coach this and that, and has never differentiated between him being a coach and what he's really. So I left it at that. I didn't say nothing about it, but I'm not blinded by that stuff. Like my old partner of mine, he coached us on JV when we won the conference and everything, and we went to a class reunion and he was there. And old Greg motioned to me to come over and take a picture with him. I'm like, hell no, I ain't taking no picture. I'm like, no, I don't want to take no picture with him. He acted like he got a little mad and walked off. I could care less. I still carry a grudge because I started quarterback on the JV team that we won all that stuff. But he didn't have no say in that. The varsity people told him that I was going to play. And but where I got with him, he was a varsity baseball coach. I get out there. Well, I was coming late out of basketball. Homeboy, I would get out there, and once I went out, the team. Now I'm playing with a bunch of white boys that I played with in summer league, tearing their ass up. Matter of fact, one of my good friends on there, Thomas said, "Man, I just don't understand. How is it that you can play the summer league, American Legion, and come out here and you can't break the starting 9 on this?" I said, "I don't understand it either, even though I did." And so I remember coming out. This was before batting cage. You couldn't get ready on your own.
Right.
And so I'd come out there after basketball. This dude would let me take 2 swings. And that was it.
2
swings. 2. And then what he would do is, okay, he'd never say nothing to me. And then we play a game, and then all of a sudden, Rodney, you're up. What? I mean, what? I wasn't even expected to play. It was almost like I took that as you trying to set me up to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to justify why you're not playing me by making me look bad. But I came through on a couple of them, but I also didn't do like I normally do, like in the summer league. I whiffed on a bunch of them, but man, getting timing down to hit a baseball is a whole lot different than playing basketball.
Yeah. You got to get a lot of time in swinging that bat, and you just can't step up there and no. Yeah, I agree with you. Baseball, especially hitting that ball.
Yeah.
coming at different angles and different speeds and all that. Yeah, that's a whole different animal.
A whole different animal. And I just always resented that. I was always like, he set me up to fail. So finally, I just said, the hell with it, But then Greg, hey, man, come on, take a picture. I'm like, well, hell no, I ain't taking no picture with his ass. You know what he did? Auburn neck.
Auburn neck. Is that the politically correct way now? Auburn neck?
That's Redneck's cousin.
Oh, it's redneck's cousin. Okay, I thought maybe that was the political correct way of saying redneck. Now you say Auburn neck.
Yeah, man. So it for a youngster to carry that angst, it had to be obvious what it was, and that's what it was for me. So at my high school, I guess they had said, y'all done took over football, y'all done took over basketball. We keeping something for ourselves. And they did, so. But yeah, man, that's life.
Yeah, it is. It shapes your life, but in your case, it didn't truly define your life. So that's a good thing. It does shape it some, especially at that age.
Oh yeah.
You get a chance to sort of move on, if you will. So I can see.
Well, and not like we discussed one time before about those people still living in the past, letting it shape their life because that's all they think about it back then. And I'm like, no, bruh. I done turned a few corners now, so I ain't. I'll be cordial, but don't expect no adulation at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can see that. I can see that.
Hey, what did y'all decide what y'all was gonna do on your trust there?
Oh yeah, we got the paperwork. He sent it to us last week, and like I say, that friend of Marion's came down and spent a few days, and she hadn't had a chance to look over it. And I found just a couple of things. Really, only spelling there. He spelled like Donovan's name wrong and something else, but I want her to look at it too. But we just waiting to really sign it and send it back to him to get the final product done. But yeah, we went ahead and made that decision.
Okay.
We went to that other seminar and listened to them and, basically said the same thing, that this guy had told us. And we went back and sat down. And as a matter of fact, I thought he was going to give us like a checklist, but he just sort of went over the checklist with us there and asked us questions about how we wanted to structure things and stuff of that nature. So yeah, we just got to tell them about the stuff that we found and get it finalized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I to show you how misleading sometimes the dang internet can be. I was just sitting there on the computer one day. I was listening to there was a brother on there. He was talking about he didn't really go into the specifics of and the circumstance that you would do this, but he's like, oh, if you get a trust, you need to get with your insurance company because now that the trust is in your name, you no longer have insurance. So if your house burns down, you're not insured because it's because the house is in a trust now. And I'm like, that don't sound right. So, but anyway, it left an impression on me. So first thing Monday morning, doo, 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 doo. Hey. He said, no, Mr. Turner, you ain't got to worry about none of that. He said, your trust is in your name, so you are insurance. You are insured.
Yeah.
You are the trust.
You're the trustee.
Yeah, the trustee.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he said, what he was talking about, he didn't give out all the information. That is for people who set up a trust and don't have their house in the trust, and then they want to put
Mhm.
it in the trust. And I was like, oh,
Right.
I'm like, okay. I just wanted clarification because I was finna say, because I'm glad I didn't follow my first mind, because I damn near called USAA and said, hey, let me talk to this man first. He's like, no, you ain't got to worry about none of that. I was like, good.
But the thing too, you think about it, Rodney, the insurance covers the home.
Right.
It doesn't cover you per
Exactly.
se, it covers the home. So, you could, in theory, you could get insurance on your mom's house, your dad's house, because the insurance cover you just like life insurance. You can get life insurance on anybody you want to,
Sure.
as long as they'll
Exactly.
insure them. So,
Exactly.
yeah, if you think about it, just because your home goes into a trust, you lose your insurance. No, the home is insured. That the home doesn't change its address and its square footage just because it's in a trust. The home is insured. You're just the beneficiary of the insurance policy. So,
Right.
yeah, you gotta be careful of some of these people that you hear on these talk
Oh,
shows, these
yeah,
kind of
man.
things that say stuff that I was telling Tamara the other day about your girl Tankard. She was on the radio station. She's a financial advisor and all this kind of stuff. And I told you she was on there one time talking about you get into Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin millionaire. You
Yeah.
know, and I said, you got to be careful what you tell people on these kind of public media, because they some of these people live on every word because they think you know it all.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I say, you got to do your own research. You got to go out there and try to understand things yourself. For her and her situation, that might be the way to go. But for somebody calling in on a talk show that you don't know from Adam, and you're going to tell them something like that, I said no. I said if she had said, "Give me a call,"
Mm-hmm.
I like Bitcoin, but I want to talk to you about it and what it entails. That would have been another thing. But just to blurt that out, that's what you need to do. Take that money and put it in a Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
She
But yeah,
opened herself up to a lot of liable
yeah.
suits and stuff, man. And everybody don't have the same situation to
No,
even make a
no,
statement like that.
like that. That's why you got to be careful when you people get on there that you sort of perceive the fact that they're on a public venue, whether it's a radio station, TV station, whatever it may be, that they know exactly what they're talking about. And that's not always the case. People will get on there and say things to try to get clients to come in to do things or whatever it may be. So you have to be a little mindful of that kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's, as I say, that's why we went to that second seminar, about trust and things. I said, you just never know.
Right.
What that lawyer was telling us may be the truth all the way around. I said, but you just never know. I mean, they're human people too,
Yes, sir.
and they make mistakes. And I said, let's go listen in on this. Of course, like I said, most of the same thing that he talked to us about, they talked to us too, because I was talking to Marion about, we was trying to look at how we were going to, set up, the money distribution if both of us were gone, and
Mm-hmm.
and I said, well, I think we should maybe do a sort of a lump sum initially and have that money put aside and an account and everything, and then we started thinking about it. I said, well, you know, if we are both gone, if you have IRAs and retirement plans, the beneficiaries have 10 years to exhaust them. They have to take that money in 10 years. And but when they take the money out, it's taxed at their current tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, if we take the money out now and put it in, the savings account, just like an emergency fund, so that money's going to be there if something should happen to both of us. I said, if we take that money out, that money is going to be taxed at our tax rate today. And I said, I hope the girls do great or in a 50% tax rate at some point. I said, but if they don't get to that point, they take the money out, then they're taxed at a lower. I said, we're actually paying more by doing it now. I said, we just let it ride. And if we get to the point that, both of us are gone, and they take the money out, then they can take it out at their tax rate. I said, yeah, we don't need to do that right now. We've got our emergency fund as it is. We were just going to set this up to be available to them case we both pass away.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, those
Yeah.
kind of things, you got to think about as far as making those kind of moves. Because I was going to do that. I was just going to go ahead and take the money out of our retirement account and put it in this savings account so it would be there. And I'm like, no, I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to take a little bit of a chance that their tax rate is going to be a little bit lower than ours, and that means that's going to be less taxes we're going to have to pay on that same money.
Right.
So yeah, you just have to think about some of those kind of things and not take everything at face value, and do a little bit of your own research to see if it's true.
That's right. That's right. Well, because I like that. That's like with ours. The emergency fund is in there, and they'll be able to. Well, I did that. What is it? TOD or POD? Upon death, they get a
Right.
get the lump sum, get the check out there. And
Right.
as I explained to them, okay, but if something happened to me and not their mother, then it's a moot point because
Right.
she's co-owner with everything, and
Right.
so that'll go there. But in case something were to happen to both of us, they're all the beneficiaries of everything anyway. So that's why I keep telling them, you're gonna have to be astute enough financially, and just like this guy assured us, I won't be obligated to tell your kids what to do, but I can advise them
Right.
about what to do. And I said, well, okay, that's cool right there, because they're going to get checks sent to them all of a sudden. They're going to be in the money, and it's going to be like, okay, what do I do with this? Because I was thinking naively before. I was like, well, maybe I can just have an account. I guess it was kind of like what you were saying about having an account, because those will be my accounts and they'll be closed out once they get death certificates. Then they can just put it in another account. Well, they can do that on their own, but it won't be anything that I can do really, for that. Because again, it gets down to, like you said, the tax rate for me establishing that account versus, for them. So anyway, at some point, we've tried to make it as easy of a transition as possible. Y'all are going to have to think and get information for yourselves at the time, because laws will change.
That's exactly right.
And you're going to have to, like I say, be astute enough to go with that. This guy says he'll be more than willing if he's still alive himself. He said, here's, give them these cards. If there's any questions, have them call me. I said, okay. And we had a family meeting last weekend. Finally, all got together, and I explained it to them, the deal and how it was. And I said, now don't let this be no incentive for you not to try to do anything with your damn life. I said, don't stop thinking, oh, dad, mom gonna leave me. Hey. I said, because if anything come up that we needed, we gonna spend it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I said, so you will get something, but you don't know what that something might be.
That's the way I look at it too. I ain't going to sacrifice everything just so that there's going to be more there for you. I'm going to enjoy my life.
You damn right.
You don't know how long that life is going to be, as we talked about earlier. Yeah. That time horizon is a lot shorter now than it's ever been. Every day it's a lot shorter than it's ever been. So yeah, we're looking at the same thing, but we, like I say, we putting in ours that 10-year horizon on equal portions through that 10 years. But there's a contingency in there that the beneficiaries of it, the ones that, what they call them when you pass away, I guess they're actually the trustees at that point when you pass away.
They become the trustees.
There's a contingency for them to make decisions, like, say, for instance, okay, you can only get a tenth of it every year, the money every year. Well, this year, catastrophe happened. Something happened to one of the girls, maybe even Donovan, because he's listed in there too. We need some more money. You can do that. There's contingencies in there that will allow that to happen. But just sort of on the same tip that you was talking about, we just didn't want a situation where all of a sudden they wake up, the day after the last of us pass and that we pass together and see, lots of zeros in their bank account. And then, a month from now, there is zero in the bank account.
Right.
We just didn't want that to happen, even though I don't think it would. This gives a little bit of a situation where, you can't get it all today. You got this is going to be spread out over 10 years,
Right.
But there is also a contingency that in case there are emergency situations, they can get more during that time. So, and I said, I think that's fair enough. Trying to, have them realize that, this is something that's going to come over time and you need to do your own thing too. Like you say, don't quit your job after we die and say, I ain't working no more, kind of thing.
That's
but
right.
But also there is an avenue for emergency situations to make a decision to accelerate that a little bit, if you will. So we'll see. I mean, it's, as they say, that guy that responded to that chat thing I did outside said, you shouldn't be trying to control your money from the grave. And like I said, I'm going to do all the damn I can before I get to the grave to control it. I can tell you that. I might not control it from the grave.
That's right.
I'm going to do all I can too before then. So yeah, we just got to, basically I'll have Marion go over it and see if she finds anything that I didn't find. And I tell you, I found this when I worked with the VA in the program that I ran. It's about, I forgot how many, 107 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And there's about 2 pages of really substance. Everything else is legalese.
Yeah.
All them clauses and all.
You need a dictionary to.
Yeah. I'm looking through this thing and I'm like, oh man, I don't know what that means. It's that kind of thing. And then of course it's got the advanced directives in there. It's got the power of attorneys in there and all that other stuff too. But it's probably 2 or 3 pages of really firm stuff. This is what's going to happen. And the rest of it is just all that legal jumbo stuff they have to put in there.
Yeah. And it is really almost an exercise in just confusion, really, man. I was sitting there, man, I got about halfway through it, man, and I'm like, I'm calling words because I don't know what half of it means. Or,
Yeah. And you just, you sort of, I say to myself, at least, I said, I just hope it's not something that, when we pass away, you find out that lawyer's getting every dime you had, kind of thing, because of some language deep down in there somewhere that you wasn't going to read because, you just ain't going to read every word on this 107-page document. That's the biggest thing that I mean, they're bound by certain ethics and things, but as I said before, they are human too.
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing that I, sort of think about is I hope there ain't something embedded deep down in all this legalese that says basically, I get all your money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's always a thought because I just went through it with them a week before last. I was sitting there looking at it. That's when they sent me this copy of the quick deed.
Right.
Well, I never got the original deed from when I paid it off. So I'm like, I called over there. Look here. Where is the original deed? I need that. I need a copy of that. And they were saying, well, sir, we filed the little deal I told them to file it, about putting the deed into the trust. Well, they did a quick deed. And that's supposed to be the answer to, and that is your deed. Well, I'm still looking at like a car. Once I pay my car off, I get the title.
Right.
I'm like, where is the title, the deed? Where is that? And they said, well, Mr. Turner, that's it right there. I said, well, surely there was a deed somewhere. I need a copy of it. So they had gone. She said, well, we used the website, some website she gave me. You can go on there and check out. Like, no, you send it to me. Send me a copy of it. They sent me a copy of it, man. Big old unofficial damn letters on there. Unofficial, like that ain't what I want. So I said, I hadn't done it yet. That was only last week, week before last. I said, I'm going down to the county courthouse and ask some questions. Hey, how come I never got the deed when I paid off my house? You know, I should have that in my mind. You
Yeah.
know, every
But
car I pay.
but whoever you had your house financed with should have your deed. They hold the deed of your house just like the finance company holds the title to your car.
Well, if that, well, Bank of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
them,
they should
them,
be the
them
one
some,
that had
them
the
some,
deed.
and since I paid them, they should be the first one to get the damn deed out to me. You know, as a matter of fact, I got a letter saying that it would be coming shortly, and it had in the interim. That's when I did the trust.
Right, right.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to check that out, man.
Yeah, if you got questions about anything, especially finances or personal property, there's probably someone that's got the right answer. So go out and do your research and then ask some questions. It'll help you make a final decision. Well, we hope you enjoyed this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. Please join us next time. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.